The WNBA Finals are here. Aces, Mercury, first best of 7 series in WNBA history. How about a handy guide telling you what you need to know, what you might see from each team, and who may win it all? I got you covered, starting with the star player matchup. A'ja Wilson, Alyssa Thomas, you already know, two of the best in the league at both ends of the court. A'ja just won her record-setting 4th MVP. If she's not the GOAT, she is well on her way. Alyssa finished 3rd in MVP voting for her 4th top 5 finish in a row. Similar end result, but they get there a little bit differently. Offensively, A'ja has an incredibly aesthetically pleasing game. Her footwork is top tier. She's like a dancer out there. She operates mostly from the elbow, but is essentially a 3-level scorer. Not a high volume 3-point shooter, but she hits them consistently enough that you have to guard her. Perfect blend of power and finesse, if I do say so myself. Now, Alyssa does have some finesse to her game too, but her trademark is going to be her power and strength. She can score, but not at A'ja's level, and almost exclusively operates from the paint, whether she's getting all the way to the rim or using her little half hook push shot floater deal. She will make you pay if you don't respect her ability to score. Her main weapon is going to be her playmaking, though. She operates as their point guard, uses her size and physicality to get to her spots where she can set up her teammates. She led the league in assists this year and is normally near the top in that and in triple doubles. Very unique archetype of a player. They're both remarkably consistent on both ends. Defensively, AT will guard out on the perimeter a little bit more than A'ja will, but both disrupt what opposing teams want to do. And, sorry to my Lynx fans, they're both able to do it while staying out of foul trouble. There's no real secret to stopping them. A'ja gets in trouble, if you want to call it that, when she starts forcing the issue too much against teams that are very physical with her. That was her whole deal in the Fever series. Aaliyah Boston is obviously a great defender, but she also knew that she had to be annoying, and she went out and did that. In games 1 and 3, she got results doing this. A'ja shot 12 for 42, which is just under 29% from the field, and averaged 14.5 points per game as the Aces split those games. Now, unfortunately for Aaliyah, the Fever, and the rest of the world, A'ja is A'ja. In the other 3 games, she shot 37 for 69, which is about 54%, and averaged 30 points per game as the Aces went 2-1. The strategy was the same from the Fever's end. They mostly executed it the same, but A'ja just handled it better. With Alyssa, the key is to mostly focus on the others, so she is forced to be a scorer. Again, she can score, but it's not her strength, and she's not going to beat you with her scoring. She also doesn't really beat herself with turnovers like you would think for someone who handles the ball as much as she does. I do think she's more likely to turn it over when you force her to be a scorer because she's so determined to make a play for someone else, even if it's risky. You will see this come up at the end of close games. Between the two, A'ja is the better overall player, no shock, but that would be the case no matter who was on the other side. Alyssa is as good as you're going to get in terms of non-A'ja players, though. All right, moving on to secondary stars. Neither player is doing it alone, so let's look at who they have helping them. Jackie Young has turned it up in the postseason, averaging 21, 5, and 5 on 54, 38, 94 splits. Teams would kill for that kind of production out of their number 1 star, so the fact that Vegas can get this out of their second best player feels a little bit unfair. Her worst shooting performance saw her still go 5 for 11 from the field and was 45%. That's fine. She's going to defend. She's going to make plays. She is famously even-keeled. For me, the difference between a good Jackie game and a bad one, even in these playoffs when she's been elite, is 1, is her 3-pointer falling. If so, she's almost impossible to defend, and when she's impossible to defend, so is Vegas. 2, how easily is she able to make plays? Is she turning the ball over? Sometimes she dribbles into spots where nothing can happen, then kills her dribble. Well, if you're stuck somewhere where you can't score, can't dribble, and can't pass, what can you do? Best case scenario, the shot clock runs down as she looks for help, and then the Aces are sped up. Worst case scenario, she just throws the ball away. Her counterpart on the Mercury is Kahleah Copper. She's as fiery as Jackie is reserved. Her play this season hasn't been what it was last season as she had to come back from some injury stuff, but at her best, she's Phoenix's most explosive scorer. She's an athletic slasher who is also going to get out in transition and score too. She's a bit streakier as a three-point shooter. She struggled from deep in the Liberty series, but her shot did show some signs of coming back against the Lynx. I think the Aces have to make her prove she's going to hit those shots. If she does, it is what it is, but I'd rather have her shooting those than getting to the rim. And the absolute best case scenario when guarding her is the opposite of AT, in that you force Ka to be a playmaker. The more times you can not only stop her from having a straight line to the basket, but also force her to pass it, the more success you're going to have. This is easier said than done, and you will only get a handful of opportunities each game, so you have to take advantage of them. Also going to be really important for the Aces in terms of guarding Ka and the team in general to prevent transition opportunities for Phoenix. The entire team is better when they can get out and run, but Ka is the most indicative of that. Very close matchup here. I lean slightly Jackie when they're both at their best, but not by much. I mean, Cully has been a finals MVP before. Okay, moving on to the X factors. I almost called this third stars because they do operate in that manner, but I think their play is so crucial to whether or not their team wins or loses this series that you got to call it the X factor. You could almost just have an ISO cam on each of those players and you'd be able to tell if their team was winning or losing if you had no other information whatsoever. For the Mercury, that player is Satou Sabally. Some might even have her as the Mercury's second best player. I would not fight you over that. Phoenix's games pretty much come down to how Satou is shooting from three. During the regular season, she shot 36% in wins and 26% in losses. It's even more drastic in the postseason as she shot a combined 1 for 15 in their two losses, and she's 16 for 35 in wins. That's 7% versus 46%. So yeah, at her best, and the reason why people think that she's probably the second best player on this team, she's a matchup nightmare. 6'4", she can score, rebound, pass it, disrupt things on defense with her length. The problem is, at her worst, she's a chucker who will shoot them out of the game. They will not win this series if she's that. Chelsea Gray is the X factor for the Aces. At her best, she's the best and most exciting point guard in the game. At her worst, she's a turnover machine who over dribbles to the point of killing Vegas's offensive flow. I'm a big believer in the fact that assists can be deceiving, but over the course of the season, the Aces are much better when she's getting them. During the regular season, she averaged 6.3 assists per game in wins and just 3.6 assists in losses. The stats haven't been quite as polarized in the postseason, but if you watch the games, you see it play out. What are her passes doing for others? Is she leading them into easy buckets, or do they have to turn around and play transition defense because she's thrown it away? She hasn't really been point guard Chelsea Gray since she got injured against the Liberty in the finals, but she has started to show some flashes this postseason, and of course, she's known for being at her best when the lights are at their brightest. Something I think has kind of flown under the radar this postseason is how good she's been from three. She's hitting 48% of them on 3 attempts per game. With Asia being better than AT and Jackie being better than Ka, it is crucial for the Mercury that Satou has a good series. Vegas can't win if Chelsea is bad, but they can if she's just okay. If Satou is okay, this will be an uphill battle for Phoenix. She's got to be good. I would go so far as to say that she's the most important player in this series for either team. That doesn't mean she's the only important player, though. Let's move on to the role players. As I said, this is the first best-of-7 series in league history. After the longest regular season in league history, depth is going to matter. And each team has done some experimenting throughout the season, adding some pieces, mixing up the rotation to see what works. And here we are. What's it going to look like now? For the Aces, I wasn't a huge fan of giving up a first-round pick for Nalissa Smith, but you know what? It was the right move. They very badly needed someone to help Asia down low, and she's done it. We know she can score, and she has. She's never been this efficient before and has actually taken it to another level in the postseason, hitting 62% of her shots. They don't win game 2 and 3 against Indiana without her. She's also been giving much better effort on defense. I'm wondering if she's going to draw the Alyssa Thomas assignment. We shall see. Another role player for the Aces, Kirsten Bell, the other starter. I don't know what to make of Kirsten Bell. She's got the shortest leash of any player ever, pretty much, and she's earned that. As soon as Becky's spidey senses start tingling and telling her KB is just not going to defend a rebound today, she's on the bench. I think they really need her to be serviceable enough on that end long enough to knock down 1 or 2 threes on the other end. If she can give them 12 to 15 minutes of net positive basketball, their lives are going to be so much easier. And Becky's blood pressure is going to be that much lower. Now, KB was moved into the starting lineup in the move that sent Jewel Lloyd to the bench. Jewel still plays starter minutes, but she has been better coming off the bench. She spent a lot of time guarding Kelsey Mitchell in the last series. I think that affected her offense some. Whoever she's guarding on Phoenix, I don't think will be quite as tough of a cover as that. I mean, Kelsey played herself into rhabdo, which I've only heard of CrossFitters and marathoners getting. So the question is going to be, if the defensive assignment isn't as hard, can she knock down some more shots? At this point in this role, she has been better than she was as a starter, but she's still very much a boom or bust player on both ends. She's either going to look great or awful. Just wasn't a word to help me sugarcoat awful. It is what it is. Dana Evans also gets a lot of minutes off the bench. Probably should have gotten some more in a couple of those Fever games. Much better role for her here as the third guard. More of a score-first guard, but can set others up. Can she protect the basketball? Streaky in terms of turning the ball over. Again, against a team like Phoenix that you don't want to get out in transition, you have to limit turnovers, so that's going to be key for her. After that, not really sure who you're going to see. Megan Gustafson played a lot in the last 2 games of the Fever series. Cheyenne Parker-Tyus was productive against the Storm, but hasn't seen a lot of time other than that. How she's played at all after giving birth the beginning of July, I don't know. Becky seems to be over the Kia Stokes experiment, and rookie Aaliyah Nye can hit threes, but she's only played in blowouts. For the Mercury, rookie point guard Monique Akoa-Makani has had a fantastic season, especially on the defensive end. That's a hell of a weapon to have when you're facing off against Chelsea Gray. Obviously on offense, AT handles most of the traditional point guard duties, but Makani can make plays when needed. She's also a very good three-point shooter. Natasha Mack is going to be the other starter, starting at center. She's going to block shots. She's going to rebound. Not going to get a lot of field goal attempts, but she's going to hit a high percentage of the ones she does get because she operates so close to the basket. If I had to guess, she's going to start off as Asia's primary defender, and how much we see of her is going to depend on how that goes. DeWanna Bonner and Sammy Whitcomb come off the bench, but play starter minutes. You know what you're getting with both of them at this point. They've been around a long time. Like Nalissa on the other side, DeWanna came over midseason, and I wasn't really sure if that's what Phoenix needed, but she's been good for them. Wasn't a huge factor in the Lynx series until she took it upon herself to finish them off in Game 4. Whitcomb is similar to Jewel Lloyd in that she split time between starting and coming off the bench, but has been more efficient coming off the bench. The games that Bonner hasn't been as productive offensively in the postseason, Whitcomb has, and vice versa. I'm probably doing a Midwestern white woman thing here, but Catherine Westbeld is the Mercury version of Megan Gustafson. Maybe touch 10, 12 minutes, hit a three, rebound. That's really been it in terms of Coach Nate Tibbetts' rotation in the postseason. I do keep wondering if we're going to see some Kalani Brown, but I will not be holding my breath. Similar units here in terms of how good they are. To me, the Aces have more firepower, but the Mercury are more consistent. That probably leans Phoenix's way in a best-of-7 series, but not by much. Overall, this one feels like it's going to be a close series. The Aces won 3 of 4 in the regular season, including all 3 that Asia played in. They are the more talented team. If they play how they are capable of playing, they should win it all. But the Mercury are so good at making teams not play up to their potential. We saw that against Minnesota. Yes, Fee got hurt, but they were about to go down 2-1 when it happened anyways. I think Phoenix was going to win it no matter what. I've got the Aces winning in 6. Let's call it 6. They aren't as good as the Lynx, but they are better in ways that matter. They are physically and mentally tougher, and they have a true point guard, and they have Asia Wilson. I will almost always roll with the team that has the best player, especially when the overall talent level is in the same ballpark, and I think that's the case here. She has lost series before. She will lose series again, but I have to see it, and the Mercury is just going to have to prove it. So there you have it.